All right, we're back. Another season. Pro football show. Chevy Silverado. Chicago. Couldn't be more excited to be back.
Yeah, Will, how are you feeling?
Boys, girl, this season is going to be awesome. But who is this jabroni?
That's the mystery guest. Different host every single week.
I love that idea. Let's go!
Welcome to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. It is week 3 of the NFL season. We are here in Chicago. Will, Dan, Jersey Jerry, myself, as always, a very special guest today. We have Patriots and Wisconsin legend James White. Let's do a round of applause here, fellas. Round of applause. Dan, I know you were really excited to get him here today.
I'm very excited. James White, one of my favorite Badgers. Also, I didn't realize, but you have like a few pretty impressive NFL records. I think
you can
most.
brag on yourself.
No.
NFL record?
Yeah, he has. I think it's
one game.
Well, yeah, most
records are
points in the
records.
Super Bowl. I think I saw that you had most catches in a playoff game, 15. That's pretty insane.
That is.
That's insane. So, but yeah, I mean, Badger legend right here.
2012 Big Ten champion.
Big Ten champion. Well, so I wanted to start with just asking, like, James, do you have a favorite of the 4 touchdowns you ran right down Will Compton's dick?
Favorite one? Probably the first one.
First one, yeah.
We lined up. We had a barge formation. It was me and like 10 linemen in front of me to snap it to me. And the play is really designed to go right up the middle. I decided to bounce it out and just run straight to the corner. So it was almost like Little League right there.
Yeah, so all right, so yeah, that's a good point, because I was wondering too, like in preparation for that game, I mean, the Badgers scored 70 points? 70 points. Did you guys watch film and you're like, look, their linebackers can't move laterally here. We can just run it all over the place. Was there ever that discussion?
No, there was never that discussion because we played them earlier in the year. And they lost
beat us
earlier
in the year.
The linebackers made a lot of plays that game, so that was not the game plan going into
They did a good job adjusting on their speed sweep. They realized when they released both tight ends out wide on the jet sweep that it was a jet sweep 100% of the time. So they'd release them. My ass would run out there. Everybody would go with it, and they'd hand the ball off and hit the cutback. Or they'd keep them blocking down so that way we would stay in the box, and then they'd be one-on-one with the safety. And I've told Bo Pelini to his face, why would we not make some adjustment when they're in 22 speed personnel just to send 2 off the edge away from him?
Yeah.
Because it was always going to be him. Because we
so.
shut down the jet sweep in the first game, and once it got shut down, they just don't go back to it. But they lived in it, and
it was everyone. Jerry, I got a little trivia question for you. In that game, like I said, James scored 4 touchdowns. Melvin Gordon had 216 rushing yards. How many carries do you think he had?
God.
200 and how much?
216 rushing yards.
28 carries.
He had 9 carries. Wow. 9 carries for 216 rushing yards.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I really hate that game.
James, I have to tell you,
I really can't get over.
It's not just for the cameras either. So he texted Dan and I this morning and asked what we wanted for coffee. And so we gave him our coffee order. And Dan said, hey, can you grab 2? Maybe James want one. And he said, no, he's already taken enough from me already. So he wasn't even going to bring you a coffee. That's how deep this hatred runs.
But listen, this is a pro football show. So we don't have to talk about college that much.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
And we didn't, they were the 3rd team coming in the Big Ten championship. Yeah. We didn't really care, to be honest. I think back about it now, and it's like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to go play against TCU? Or do we need to go get footage against Georgia in the Capital One Bowl?
3rd team and giving up 70 points.
We took advantage, we weren't supposed to be there most likely, so.
God.
Yeah. Take advantage of your opportunities.
Well, here's my question. I know that, obviously he's a Badger, so you like him, but then he was also with the Patriots, and everybody hates the Patriots that aren't Patriots fans.
Well,
so.
I always root for Badgers in the NFL no matter what.
Regardless.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to. You do the same for Nebraska.
Absolutely.
I mean, you played there, so it's a little different.
He got to play with Rex Burkhead, too.
Yeah, my guy. I love Rex, man. He's one of my good friends.
Like when you lost the Super Bowl to the Eagles, I know that obviously that was bad, but Corey Clement balled out. Badger. Like, that's the thing.
Wasn't happy for him there.
Yeah, no, I was. That's the thing, is you can just root for the guys that play. Yeah.
It is, usually, sometimes Dave Portnoy's on the show, obviously a big Patriots guy, so it's nice to actually have a Patriot here to defend the honor against these guys, too, but they actually like you, so that's...
I love James.
Love James. He's great.
And also underrated, one of the best Twitter handles out there, Sweet Feet. Sweet feet. That's a
Jerry.
great Twitter handle.
Jerry, you like that?
I like that.
Finish.
Oh, man.
Yeah, not mad. Not mad.
Good thing I'm on the edge over here.
Our show's already off the rails before we even started. So every week, James, we pick against, they pick against the spread. So last week, these guys did not have a good week. You went 5-9-2, I believe.
Yes.
But you're still in the lead, Will. You're 500 on the season. Right?
Which is nice to know. Going 5-9-2 and still being 500.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. So, James, you're going to have to show these guys what NFL knowge.
We got punched in the mouth last week. We got punched in the mouth.
I got punched in the mouth.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
You never know in the NFL.
It's a hard league.
All right, so let's start with the storyline games of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. We are going to start with the Bills and the Commanders. The Bills favored by 6.5, and the Commanders, guys, 2-0. Will, I will start with you. You've been very high on the Commanders thus far through these first 2 weeks. How are we feeling?
I think they're playing well. I think that second half last week at Denver, in the altitude, they were down 24-0 in the second quarter. Eric Bieniemy, arguably the best coordinator in-game adjuster in the league. How's looking comfortable. He's taking shots, delivering the ball on third down. Scary Terry going up and getting it between two defenders in the end zone. Brian Robinson, he's running angry. I like Commanders, but I also like the Bills too. They got back on track last week. Josh Allen's going to be tough. Their defense is really good, but I like the Commanders plus 6.5 at home, sold out crowd again at FedEx. I like what's happening in Washington.
Okay.
I like what's happening in Washington.
I like the Commanders in this game as well. The only thing that makes me nervous, Josh Allen has won 57 games in the NFL. 43 of them have been by 7 points or more. So when he wins, he blows people out.
Good numbers. Good numbers.
You did mention someone I want James's take on this. Brian Robinson. So as a running back, and you're not, a super tall guy. Brian Robinson is a tall guy. When you watch him run, are you like, how is he running so upright? Because he does run like tall. Yeah. And you don't see that very often in the league.
Well, I think for me, Derrick Henry, did you play with Derrick Henry a little bit? He runs tall, but if you're able to get your pads down when it's time for contact, then it doesn't really matter. But when you're running through the middle of the defense, you have your pads up high, you're exposed, it does give people the opportunity to get a shot on the football.
Yeah.
And get some shots on your chest, which don't feel so good. So for myself, I'm shorter, so obviously I'm low to the floor all the time, so I don't have to really worry about that. But for Brian Robinson, it definitely gets worrisome. I'm sure as a running back coach when a guy's running straight up and down through the line of scrimmage.
I think that also means for him to be successful running the ball, same with Derrick Henry, the O-line has to be able to move the line of scrimmage. And if they can do that, they're able to have success. Because if not, and they get hit at the line of scrimmage, they don't always have, Derrick is not the best when he has to stop his feet.
Yeah, that's always the thing. When you play those taller, those bigger backs, you want to crowd the line of scrimmage, don't give them any open holes, try and make them move laterally, because that's when they're at their weak point. Running sideways, guys can grab them at their legs. When going downhill, guys like Derrick Henry, Brian Robinson, linebackers, even defensive linemen don't want to tackle them.
They run right over them, All right, so who do you like in this game?
I like the Buffalo Bills. I think they'll win by more than 6.5, obviously 7 points. Obviously, week one, Josh Allen was a disaster out there. He came back this week or last week. Only had a few incompletions, no interceptions. That's what you love to see. But I just need some consistent play out of him. You just don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes last year was the red zone turnovers that was crucial for him. And I just want him to protect himself. He's a guy. I love the way he plays the game of football, especially for a quarterback position. He's still jumping over guys at the goal line. It's 1st and 10. He's running, jumping out of bounds. Just protect himself, protect the football. I think they win by more than 7.
We talk a lot about Josh Allen on this show. What do you think his ceiling is? Do you think that he can win him a Super Bowl?
I think he can. I just feel like that window that they had, it might have passed in my opinion.
Goes fast,
the division, everybody in that division got better. I know Aaron Rodgers got hurt for the Jets, but I feel like the Patriots are better than last year. The Dolphins, we see what they can do. So I just feel like that gap has really closed in that AFC where they had their chances. Obviously, you had to go through Mahomes and guys like that and Joe Burrow.
You think the Bills are sitting at 3?
They're not.
You think the Bills are sitting at 3 behind the Patriots?
No. I think they're I give them they're the number 1 team in the division based off what they've done in the past. I'm just saying I just feel like the gap has.
Yeah, the Dolphins are looking really, really good.
The window's much smaller.
It's much smaller.
Dan, who are you taking in this game?
I'm taking the Commanders.
You're taking the Commanders.
Yes, I am. I shouldn't because I said that stat, but I just think the Commanders' defensive line is elite.
It is.
And I think that kind of can dictate the game if they can get that pressure. Because the Bills' offensive line has shown at times, like you saw the Jets game week 1, when a defensive line can get after Josh Allen and speed up the game a little bit. It starts, he gives one away, gives two away. That might be the difference in the 6.5 spread.
Even more on the Commanders now after that. Then when you said the first stat, I was like, hey, yeah, it's a
great I think the Bills will win.
The D-line play, that's a great
great 10
point.
sacks on the year, too.
Yeah,
so.
they're all over the place. And they roll those guys in. Like, it feels like they have, guys who can – I love a team that has that kind of depth where it's like that they're going to be fresh. And when the game goes longer, they're able to get guys in, rotate them out. And
it's like Philly.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of Philly, let's go right into the Monday night game. The Eagles versus the Bucs. The Eagles right now favored by 4.5. Dan, I will start with you. The Eagles get a win last week. The Buccaneers get a win last week. Baker Mayfield not playing poorly at all. He's actually playing pretty well, which I think surprised a lot of people. What do you expect to see on Monday night? So
Baker has been very good through 2 games, but we should also say he played against the Vikings, who are not that good on defense, and he played against my Bears, who are atrocious on defense, don't have a defensive coordinator, which we'll get to later. I think this is a different beast here when it comes to the Eagles' defensive line, and I think the Eagles will win this game and cover.
Okay, James?
I don't know. I'm gonna go the opposite direction.
All
I think I like Tampa in this game. The Eagles, they haven't looked as hot as what they did early on last year. You saw last week, got Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown arguing on the sideline this week too. We didn't see that at all, last year. There's definitely, something going on there. That passing game isn't as sharp as what it is, and they have new safeties. As you can see, there's a lot of teams getting behind them in the secondary. The Vikings did it. The Patriots did it week 1. So I feel like Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, some chances there in that secondary.
I forgot about Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is pretty good. He's pretty damn good.
God damn it.
I like what you're selling. I'm with the Bucs plus 5. Is it 5, right?
4.5.
4.5.
I'm with the Bucs with the points as well. They're playing really good defense. And even though Baker Mayfield has played against those defenses, there's a lot to say when you're getting momentum and having confidence and playing with swagger and the guys are getting behind them. They know they're the underdog in every game, even though they're 2-0. And a little stat on here, 4-0, 4 straight in the last 4 times that they've played against Philly. Okay. 2-0 against Hurts.
All right. Well,
and I like what you're saying.
Wait, hold on. But you have to at least say Tom Brady was the quarterback for one of those or 2 of those.
Yeah, but either way.
Okay, well that's a Tom Brady stat.
It's defense.
That's a Tom Brady stat.
It's a team game. Okay. It's a team game.
Yeah, I don't care about that stat. It's it's a Tom Brady stat.
It's some data for you.
Okay.
James is very aware those Tom Brady stats look pretty good.
Yeah, you can throw any Tom Brady stat.
I don't know. Tom has started. He's had some bad days. Everybody's had some bad days.
Yeah, last year they weren't that good on offense. So
yeah, true.
Did they play the Eagles last year?
I don't think so.
Oh,
so yeah, his stat
didn't
makes
count.
sense.
I'm just saying,
won a
man.
Super Bowl.
The defense still doesn't show up. Tampa Bay, #1 defense in the league right now.
Okay. They played an offense last week that is a joke of an offense in the Bears.
Doesn't matter. You still have to go out there. You still have to execute.
I mean, did you see Levante David, your guy, saying after the game that the Bears ran the same play 3 times in a row? That's how the pick 6 happened. That literally happened. Yeah, the screen of the running back.
That's Levante David.
They were like, they ran it. They tried to run it. It was a pre-snap penalty, so they were like in the formation. They tried to run it. They ran it again. It was a holding call on Chase Claypool, so they backed it up. And then they ran it a 3rd time in a row. And they're like, well, what the fuck? We've seen this. You guys are just – it's like they're playing Madden right now where it's like –
that's what Justin Fields is alluding to.
Yes, exactly.
My favorite part of you explaining all that, just watching James just laugh the whole time. It's that bad. It's that
3
bad.
times in a row.
All right, let's get to the game of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. It is the Falcons at the Lions. The Lions favored by 3. So before we get to this, Jerry, I know we're going to roll the Jerry edits.
Yeah.
But it's now Lucas edits presented by Jerry edits.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, because Lucas is officially an employee of Barstool Sports. Am I allowed to say that?
As of November 1st, I think so, yes.
He's my assistant.
That's big time.
I got a guy out the mud.
Well, I got Lucas a job.
I got a guy out the mud.
No. I got Lucas a job because if I hadn't found out that Lucas was doing your edits,
True.
You would have just had Lucas keep doing your edits for a $50 gift card every week.
That's a little more than that, but
How much did you pay him?
$75 to $100.
Okay.
And
So with a gift card too.
Amazon, stuff like that.
That's a good.
Yeah.
So without Dan, Dave would have never found out that Santa Claus wasn't real last
True.
week, and Lucas would still not be employed by us.
He'd still be working at P.F. Chang's.
Yeah.
P.F. Chang's is pretty good.
Great
No
service.
free ads. Okay, so let's roll Lucas edits presented by Jerry edits.
Like,
Okay.
Is that it?
Oh, really good throw incoming.
Yes, amazing.
No, Lions.
Lions.
Dear Roger, please let me use footage. I just watched two computers play against each other, the Lions and Falcons, for 50 minutes. XO, Jerry edits by Lucas. Great.
Great.
Great game.
So Lions.
Great game.
Lions.
Lions. How is Jerry edits done? Do we know?
What do you mean? How is it done?
Like the last 2 weeks, we gotta start keeping track of like how the game
Oh, I
simulation.
don't know.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots lost. Remember that? The Dolphins-Patriots game?
Okay.
He had the Dolphins winning that game, I
Okay,
think.
so that's 1-0 at least.
I don't know
can't
the
remember
first
what
week,
the first week
or the
was.
second week was.
Yeah. Okay.
It's Jerry edits. You got to know your games.
Yeah, we gotta start. Give me
You
those
gotta know
stats.
your
Give me those
games.
stats.
I got
Give me those
Do you
stats.
pick the winner, or do you just let it simulate?
No,
one
I think
time?
it simulates by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to know. Okay, so do you agree with Jerry edits this week?
I don't know. I hate this game, honestly.
I hate this game too.
I don't know who the Lions want to be. They dropped one against Seattle last week. I don't feel like they should have. I love Artie Smith and the Falcons down south. Most creative run game in the NFL. They win in the fourth quarter. If it's close in the fourth quarter, I'm going Falcons, so I'm taking the Falcons.
I got a question for James. Bijan Robinson, how special? Because he looks incredible.
He's very special. I was high on him coming into the league, and he's already off to a hot start. He had like 170 yards from scrimmage last week. The way he cuts is just effortless.
Yep.
Like the run he had against the Packers last week, they had like all the different camera angles. It's just
Yes, so
Crazy.
nasty.
dangerous in the open field. He can catch the football. He definitely has a bright future.
Yeah, he's
I mean, and he was
awesome.
great at Texas too, but I don't think anybody expected him to be this good this
Yeah,
fast.
I'm going to take the Lions in this game just because I don't trust Desmond Ridder. That's really it.
Yeah, but go ahead, James.
I'll say against this secondary of the Lions, I
That's
like
true.
Desmond Ridder against
That's
this secondary.
true.
And the way they can run the football, I feel like it makes it very simple on them. Just get the ball to the big targets, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. I like the Falcons in this one. I feel like they cover the spread here. Their running game is going to give them a lot of fits. I don't like the Lions' defensive line. They struggle to get pressure. I don't think they're that good against the run. So,
I mean, you're right about Ridder, but I think Art trusts him because he threw the ball over 30 times last week, even though he wasn't the best. But last year was Mariota. You know, Mariota's just throwing the ball. He's only allowing him to like 15 times a game. They were fully built around being as creative as possible in the run game. He's at least trusting that, hey, we're going to put something together. And Ridder, like even on the sideline, like after a big play happens, he's hype. He's not like a quarterback who shuts down even if he's having a bad day. So I feel like, I don't know. My gut's just telling me Atlanta. My gut is telling me Atlanta.
Okay.
You got to roll with your gut.
Yeah, I got to roll with my gut.
Got to roll
Yeah.
with your gut. So speaking of guts, we got to have it pick of the week. Dan, I see what's on this paper here.
Yeah.
And I know are we doing this 3 weeks in a row? Your got to have a pick of the week is the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, well, they got to have it. I'll lay
3
out what
weeks in a
happened on
row.
Wednesday, and then I want to hear from both of you guys because you obviously were in NFL locker rooms for many years. Wednesday started. It was Ryan Pohl's birthday, so happy birthday to Ryan Pohl's. And then all hell broke loose.
With the media.
Yeah, Justin Fields came out and said he was playing too robotic. It might be because the coaches are overloading him with stuff. We then had our left tackle go on IR. Don't know when he got injured, but it looks like a neck injury that will be out for a long time. Then the defensive coordinator resigned. Still don't know what happened there. Weird rumors going around. I don't believe any of the rumors until we get facts, but that was weird. And then Justin Fields did another media scrum, being like, oh, actually, it's not the coaching, it's me. And then we cut Nathan Peterman. So it was quite the day at Hallis Hall on Wednesday. Even for the Bears, this season has spiraled so much faster than I thought it would. It's crazy. So my question to you guys is,
It's not.
I actually liked what Justin Fields said. I liked it because I thought what he said was correct, where it's like, it got taken a little bit out of context where he was blaming, they were like, oh, he blamed the coaches. I think what he was saying was The coaches are coaching me during the week. When I get there on Sunday and the ball's kicked off, I have to stop thinking I just have to start playing. And that is true. Like, he does feel like he is trying to be something that he's not a little too much, where it's like, stay in the pocket, like, be a pocket passer. That's not what he is. His feet is elite. Like, that is what makes him a difference maker, so do both. And then the passes will come easier. So I don't know. What do you guys think when you see something like that from Justin Fields? Did you think it was that crazy for him to say that?
I don't think so. I think his words kind of got misconstrued. I don't think he said it properly.
James, you played with Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If Tom ever felt like he was being robotic or overcoached or anything like that, he would say it like you were doing a good job of saying it. Like, hey, when the ball's kicked off, I got to stop thinking so much.
Right.
Yeah, people are in my ear, but at the end of the day, I got to get out of my own way and play the game like I know how to play it. That's on me. Literally, the reporter was like, so what would you speak to on what it is? And he literally said, like, coaching. And then went to the locker room and was like, y'all are going to clip it, take me out of context. Like, brother, just let the clip roll. That's what you're saying.
But he's right. The coaching stinks.
The coaches, both can be true. But when you're a quarterback, you are the face leader. He's not a rookie anymore.
And I do want that on the record because I am not making excuses. Justin Fields has looked very bad the first 2 weeks. Like, that's not an excuse, but I do think it's a problem that it's a whole problem. The whole thing is broken, and everyone's got to do a better job of fixing it. So, I don't know. I liked what he said just because I think that him playing loose ball where he's using his instincts instead of trying to be someone he's not will make the Bears a better team.
I just think when he said coaching, I wasn't saying like the coaches are why I'm playing like that. It's just like he's taking the coach and he's like thinking about that out there on the football field. That's kind of how I took it. Like, he's like, okay, on this read, they do this, I got to do this. But when you get out there on the football field, you just got to trust your eyes and then let it rip at the quarterback position. You can't wait there and wait for the perfect picture and then throw the football. You got to have that anticipation. So I think his words didn't quite come out right, and of course, it's going to spin. You say the word coaching when it comes to your struggle, of course, they're going to spin it some type of way. But they got to do a better job of finding ways, that make him feel comfortable out there. I think use him in the running game, go more, move him outside the pocket, do whatever it takes to get him going a little bit. I got to call their game against the Packers in week 1. That first half, he looked really good.
Yeah.
He was standing in the pocket, making the throws, getting the ball out quick. And then once they kind of got pressure on him a little bit, the defensive line started getting a little bit more active. That's when things completely shifted, and I feel like that's when he starts to become a little bit more robotic. He's feeling the pressure. I got to stand in there. When just use your legs if you got to, or just throw the ball away.
So he's overthinking, but how do you stop overthinking if you're a guy like him in the moment? Like, that has to be tough, right?
Yeah, you just got to play free.
It all depends on how that mental game is up top, because you can truly be, he can be saying all that same stuff too, and now the way he has said it, he's got to go into he's definitely going to this game like, okay, I went out and said those things. I'm either going to prove myself right or I'm going to be, what everybody else is out there misconstruing about me. Yeah. And that's how it comes.
Yeah, and I really don't think it's that. It's difficult because you're playing against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs, like, that's the worst part about this is that it's
that's
how to have it against the Chiefs.
They're not playing that great.
Yeah. But no, the Bears got to keep this game close for morale. They haven't won a game in almost a calendar year. Like, you got to find a way to win a game. That's really what it comes down to. But you can see it in Justin Fields this year. When last year, first, second option not there, take off and go. This year, he is trying very hard to be a pocket passer. First, second, third, fourth option. Then he's like, well, I got to go. Well, guess what? Too late. It's way too late. These guys are so fast and so big on the defensive line. So I think just trying to like simplify the game and trust who you are and being like, if it's not there, I'm going, will be a huge help for him. Because again, if he's running and he's killing them with his feet, the passing game opens up. Because now guys have to, all the secondary has to double think and be like, well, fuck, he might take off at any minute. I can't guard these guys the same way. So I think it's not that hard of a problem. But again, it's the Bears, so they probably won't fix it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it is. Oh, first option's there. Okay, let me go. The second option is there. Okay. And then he gets sacked.
I know.
He's just got to let that thing rip. And I think it's what sucks for him, too, is the coaches aren't bailing him out in the press conference either. That's why I think it's that bad in Chicago right now. Because even though he's like fighting his own, he's saying that, yeah, he got misconstrued. Then he goes in the locker room and says it. But even if he was saying like, hey, I got to get out of my own head and do it the right way in the press conference, then you also need the coaches to be like, look, I got to put him in better positions to be successful.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it marries up.
So the question is, are you going to take the Bears and the points?
No.
Okay, so Chiefs minus 12
That's
and a
a
half.
massive spread, and that's like an uncomfortable spread, but I still think like
James?
it's bad.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. I think they cover the spread. It's just that defense has been all over the place.
Oh, it's
I
bad.
saw them get lit up the first week against Green Bay. I know they played, decently against, Tampa Bay.
yeah.
But they still gave up a lot of big plays. So I like Kansas City.
Sorry.
Oh, and then the last thing
Sorry,
about this,
Dan.
like, again, we don't know what happened with the defensive coordinator, but as two guys in the locker room, like, if that happens, that's got to affect, like, what's going on there. They're like, what the fuck is going on? He
July
just
chaos.
left.
Yeah.
He resigned, like, out of nowhere. He just hasn't, he wasn't there. He wasn't there last week, and, yeah.
I will say people in the locker room probably have an idea possibly what.
There's no
what this-
question.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no question. That's why I think it could. It's like, it's hard. You don't want to speculate, but it could be that bad because not only do those rumors come out very quickly, not like rumors because people weren't even wanting to like put any speculation on it to risk it being wrong, but then like the rumors kind of just went away and no one's really talking about it.
And it also doesn't help. It doesn't help when you resign out of nowhere and then immediately the next thing we hear from you is through your lawyer.
Right.
Never
great.
good.
That's not good.
That's not great.
That's not good.
The lawyer talking for you is like, wait, why do you have a lawyer?
Yeah.
Shit.
What did you do?
If it's family problems and personal stuff,
Health problems, you don't
not
need a
talking.
lawyer. So.
Okay. So, Will, you have your gotta have a pick of the week. It's the Steelers and the Raiders.
Yeah,
Who are
I
you
think it's the
taking?
Raiders, and specifically I think it's the Raiders defense. I think that they were not good. The line of scrimmage was getting moved all week against the Bills. They struggled against the run. And their pass rush, outside of like Max, like they're just not getting any pass rush. And I think it's a big gotta have it week at home against the Steelers if they want to maintain any type of competitive advantage in the AFC West. But I think it's the Raiders. I'm taking them at home, minus 2.5 against the Steelers. But that's my gotta have it.
James, what do you think?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. If you watch that Steelers pass rush, the other night they were getting after Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. So, but I do like the Raiders in this matchup. I think they were off to a hot start against Buffalo, then the interception on the little screen pass, and it was kind of over from there. But I thought they would have done a lot more to address their defense in the offseason. They didn't do enough for me. I know they have the Chandler Jones situation going on right now, which if he was out there, they would improve that pass rush a whole lot, and then their secondary isn't the greatest as well. So I think it's going to be a big day for Jimmy Garoppolo, Devontae Adams. Hopefully they can get Josh Jacobs going too. He didn't have much of anything going against the Bills. They got to get him going early in the game.
Yeah.
Dan?
I'm taking the Steelers.
Is it because of Jerry?
No, it's not. I think the Raiders defense, if Matt Canada can't get an offense going against this Raiders defense, then just don't let him back on the plane. Because the Raiders give you everything underneath. They should let the Steelers drive down the field. The Bills were doing that all day. Even the Broncos were doing that against them. I know they won that game. But this is the defense that's going to be a get-right spot for the Steelers. And, like James said, that Steelers defense, they were everywhere in that Monday night game.
But the Raiders can play on offense. They only had the ball 20 minutes to the Bills 40 last week.
Because
the Bills
of
were moving.
yeah.
And the thing too is you got Coach McDaniels. He comes from a Patriot system, and they run a lot of man-to-man coverage. And if you're not winning in the pass rush, those guys are going to get cooked all day long because you're not getting in anybody's face, and you can't just cover for 7 seconds every play.
They don't have somebody to shut down Devontae Adams either. So.
Yeah.
Jerry, how you feel?
Jerry's a Steelers fan.
Jerry,
No,
big Steelers
I
fan.
feel a lot better this week than I did last week. Mike
Last week
Tomlin,
you were
Quit on
down
him
bad.
last week. Jerry, we had to talk you into it last week.
I was low
Did he quit on him, BC?
I was low on them.
You quit on
You picked the Browns.
I ended up picking the Steelers.
But on this show,
because
you
bullied
BC
you
was
into it. I bullied you into it.
Yeah. But no, listen, Mike
I
Tomlin.
picked the Bears every week. They're never going to win a game.
I know, it's true. Mike Tomlin has a dog. Steelers offense has been bad. Matt Canada has been bad. Kenny hasn't looked great, but this is a good week. Dan's right for the Steelers to move the ball down the field. If they can't do that, they might get run out the building because the Steelers have the worst. Yeah, they do. They have the worst rush defense in football right now. If Josh Jacobs gets going, it could be a long day if the Steelers don't move the ball. But I'm going to take the Steelers. I think I want to say in a very, very tight game, I'm going to say 21-24 type of game.
So you're back being positive.
Yeah.
Who says it that way?
Well, I think it's going to be very close.
But who says it that way?
24-21.
Yeah.
24-21.
You said 21-24.
Yeah, 21-24, yeah.
Who says it
It's
that
the
way?
number.
Oh, 20, you want me to do the higher number first?
What?
I don't know. Maybe I'm
Yeah, who
dyslexic.
says
He just tried to say maybe he's dyslexic, so now you can't talk shit to him because he just pulled that card.
21-24, yeah.
No, that's crazy.
24-21.
I think Pickett's going to struggle.
But Kenny Pickett he has to have a good game.
Have you been talking to him?
Yeah, of course.
How's he feeling?
His mental's great. His mental's
good.
great.
That's
He
good.
says the team's going to get going offensively.
His mental's great.
Yes.
You see him running off the field after they go 3-0.
If you watch, I'll say this about
He's looking
about
up at the
Kenny.
scoreboard. Hey,
You watch.
somebody help me.
If anybody's watching the show, which a lot of people are watching the show, watch Kenny Pickett's post-game interviews every week. He takes all the blame. Takes all the blame.
No Justin Fields type.
All right. Done that.
Yeah, okay. All right, James, your gotta-have-it pick of the week are the Chargers and the Vikings. Who has to have it?
The Chargers, it's been bad. I mean, obviously they ended the year last year against the Jaguars with a very disappointing loss in the playoffs. And, last week a reporter asked Brandon Staley about is that carrying over into this season. He got extremely frustrated. So I feel like everybody within that building is feeling the pressure in there. I mean, they have way too talented of a roster for them to be, it's early on in the season. They can turn things around. But to be 0-2 for the defense, be giving up almost 400 passing yards a game, they're way too good on defense. So I feel like their offense is really good. Justin Herbert has been playing decent so far. I know Austin Eckler got banged up a little bit. They got to have this game against Minnesota, they're a dangerous football team. We saw how they started to come back against the Eagles the other night. They can throw the football all over the place. So if they're going up against this secondary, I'm scared to watch Justin Jefferson up against this secondary. Even Addison as well. He's coming along on early in the season. So Chargers got to have it. Brandon Staley got to get it together because obviously I'm sure he's feeling some pressure over there.
Yeah, Will, what do you think?
I think Vikings are going to win this game.
I do too.
You said they're too good on defense, but they're just not. They're last.
They have
in defense.
guys.
Yeah, they have guys.
Like Khalil
but-
Mack, I feel like I haven't heard his name at all.
I know, and they got Derwin James, Kendricks. He's banged up right now.
Bosa.
Even Murray. I like him in the. He's
played
good in the
good
middle.
last week.
Yeah, he played good last week. But man, they're last in defensive efficiency. They give up the most explosive plays, and they're not giving up explosive plays off of coverage busts. They're losing their one-on-ones. They're losing their matchups. And what that does to a psyche, especially as a defender, that ball's going up top on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And I think the Vikings got to have it this week because they're 0-2 right now, but they're a good 0-2. If they don't, I know I'm going to sound like this Nebraska deal, but if they don't turn the ball over and drop the ball, they're 2-0. But they're a good 0-2. Yeah. And if they lose
Nebraska
another
could
one,
so easily be 3-0.
Nebraska, we're not going to get into that.
Especially week one, that was just.
It's
But
the turnovers.
Kirk is playing really good football.
He
They
is.
had some bad drops last week, and Minnesota's got to get back on track and win this one because you want to get ahead in that division. And fortunately, everybody's 1-1 except for them. I think that they got to have it more so than the Chargers. I like the Vikings.
It's a double gotta have it game.
Double gotta have
Both
it.
these teams desperately need a win.
Who you
Desperately.
taking?
I'm taking the Vikings.
I think the Vikings.
I actually, if I could pick a tie,
Think so?
Yeah.
yeah, if I could pick a tie, I probably would. I just feel like
Pick a tie.
it'd be like a 42-42 tie.
I like just because I also do like the Chargers, so I'm like a tie would be like okay, they get another guy.
Yeah, right.
But I do think the Vikings are going to have their way with them.
I think on this show you can pick a tie. So if that's what
No,
you
I'll
want to
take
do.
the Vikings. I'll
Okay.
take the Vikings.
Hey, on the subject though, we talked about Josh Jacobs needs to get going. Austin Eckler's banged up. Saquon Barkley's banged up. Nick Chubb. The whole running back market stuff going on. What are your thoughts on that thing? Like people, you see a lot of on social media. This is why running backs need protection because of instances like this. But also on the flip side, it's like that's why they're not getting that protection because of what is happening.
I kind of said it all offseason. It's all about guys staying healthy and performing. I mean, once you hit like 26, 27, those are like the prime years of your career. Then once you turn like 28, that's when they expect you to kind of fall off and they don't really want to pay you. So for these younger backs, for these guys like Saquon, Jonathan Taylor's not playing right now, these guys got to continue to produce every single year and stay healthy, like especially once you get paid, because that's the issue. Guys like Zeke, he got paid, was making like 18 mil, then got banged up a little bit, not performing as well. You had Gurley, you had Le'Veon. So the track record hasn't been good over the last few years. So for me, it's guys staying healthy and producing still once you hit 27, 28, because it's tough, and we're not helping ourselves right now this year. I mean, some guys got some bad breaks, obviously Chubb and everything, so it's hard, but we're Not helping ourselves right now.
And then, and like we talked about earlier in the show too, then you have guys like Bijan Robinson coming right in from college and immediately making an impact.
That's the thing. They can't try and wear those guys down. You know, especially him. He's a first-round pick, so he's going to get a fifth-year option if he performs well. So he's getting 200 touches a year or 300 touches a year through 5 years. I mean,
and then the tag comes.
You're like,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's hard for him to get paid. I mean, guys will be making crazy money by the time he gets. His next contract.
Yeah. Now, could you feel it? Like, obviously you were a little bit of a different back, catching balls a little bit more, maybe not running like a Derrick Henry, but could you feel it when you got to like 26 where you're like, ooh, maybe my little explosiveness is not exactly the same?
For me, no. Like I said, I didn't carry the ball like as much as I did in college in the NFL, so it was a little bit different. So I think it's just all about how guys, train in the off season, take care of their body throughout the season. You got to just find what works for you. Everybody's body's going to be a little bit differently. Some guys like the cold tub. Some guys don't. Some guys like going in the sauna. Whatever works for you, whether it's 2 massages a week, 3 massages a week, 1 massage a week, you got to get in that routine to just make sure your body, because football guys are going to get hurt regardless of what you do. You can get the hyperbolic chamber, do everything possible.
Yeah.
You can still have the potential of getting hurt, but guys just have to take care of their bodies as much as possible.
1 million massages a week like this. Yeah.
Oh,
I knew that was I was waiting to see if Jerry said something, and he did. He did not let me down there. Let's move to rapid fire games of the week presented by Body Armor. Jerry, if you could please bring us some water. James, we have a water boy in Jersey Jerry, so he will bring us some water.
Jerry.
We love Body Armor with the best athletes in the world. They hydrate with Body Armor. We've got them right here. Body Armor is available in stores nationwide. What are you doing?
It's heavy. Well, the camera. For the camera.
Oh, for the camera. Thank you, Jerry, for thinking about the camera. You can go to Amazon, the Body Armor store on Amazon as well, and get yours today. Thank you so much. So, James, for this, we rapid fire through these. We are picking against the spread. So, Will, I will start with you. The Titans at the Browns. Browns favored by 3.5.
I think that's crazy. Titans are winning this game. Nick Chubb's out. Eliminate the head, the body will follow. Chubb is gone, the heart and soul. Titans.
Yeah, I like the Titans as well. I mean, Mike Vrabel is an underdog. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, I like the Titans as well. They're going to cause a lot of fits for Deshaun Watson, try and make him throw the football. Or they're going to probably play a lot too high, see if they're going to run the football, see if Jerome Ford and those backs can see what they can do. I know they have Kareem Hunt, too, so they'll feature him in there, but I like the Titans.
Yeah.
Okay, Broncos at Dolphins. Dan, the Dolphins favored by 6.5.
I want to take the Broncos very badly,
Thank you,
but
Jerry.
I don't. The craziest part about the Broncos this year is not that Russell Wilson, he's looked a little bit better. Sean Payton, the scripted plays have looked good. Their defense has kind of fallen apart, and that was the thing that they were relying on the last few years. And I mean, the Dolphins. It's insane watching them play football and the speed that they have. It's fucking crazy. When you watch the Dolphins play football, you're like, that guy's so fast, that guy's so fast, that guy's so fast. So I just think the Broncos have a really tough time slowing them down.
James?
Yeah, I like the Dolphins in this one. I think they cover the spread. That offense is too explosive, whether it's the backs, receivers, Tua being accurate, and their defense plays really well as well. I'm afraid when Jalen Ramsey comes back, their defense is going to be even better.
True.
So they're not even at
Point.
full strength. It'd be stuck for the Broncos to go 0-3 because, Sean Payton was talking all that shit, coming to the season. If they start off like 0-3, 0-4.
I know, because Nathaniel Hackett was 2-1. Isn't that crazy? Nathaniel Hackett was 2-1 with the Broncos last year?
Yeah. I think it's tough, all three of us siding on the same side for the first 2 games here, but I agree with the Dolphins, man. I think McDaniels, he's found a way to implement the Arena League with all the motioning and everything else.
Nuts.
It's crazy, bro. And Tyreek gets on you that much faster now.
Right.
And they're full of testosterone. Something's very potent down there in Miami. Xavier Howard at 4 women.
Oh, yeah. He's got a lot of,
There's a lot happening, and I'm going Dolphins about 6.5.
But
I'm not betting against those key levels, James. You feel me?
Yeah. The Mike McDaniel, he should be in the conversation now with Kyle Shanahan in terms of coaches that no matter what they're doing, they're going to scheme up better than the defense. And, they'll give their quarterback a better shot than any other coach out there. It's crazy to watch.
And everybody loves him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He seems like a coach. You're just like, man, he just seems so fun to play for.
Yeah.
All right, James, a team you're a little familiar with, the Patriots at the Jets. The Patriots favored by 2.5. Patriots, tough start.
Yeah, tough start. They dug themselves in the hole offensively to start the games, but I like the Patriots in this game. I think the streak continues. I think it goes to 15.
I mean, you can't expect the opposite.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson against a Bill Belichick defense. I mean, I like my odds in that.
Yeah. What? So I'm going to take the Patriots too, just because I'm like, I don't want to be the guy who tries to, jump in front of it, being like, oh, this is when the streak won. They'll just keep beating the Jets every year. That's just what they do. I have a question though for you, James. The Patriots. The one thing that's crazy about watching these Patriots, and it was last year as well, is the turnovers and the mistakes. How mad do you think Bill Belichick is week to week right now?
He's livid.
Yeah.
I mean, you play for Vrabel. It's the same thing. They preach, protecting the football. If you don't turn the ball over, he has like all these stats. You have like a 90% chance of winning the football game. So he's saying that every single day they go into the building.
At 8 a.m.
Yeah, at 8 a.m., those 50 minutes.
30 minutes. Yeah. 30, 50 minutes.
Yeah, 50-minute long team meetings. He's preaching that to them. They just simply don't turn the ball over on offense. They potentially would beat the Eagles, potentially would beat the Dolphins. So the defense is playing really well. They've slowed down some very high-power offenses. So I know Bill's pissed. 100%.
Yeah.
Does he get loud in those meetings? It's like Vrabe's good at alpha dogging everybody and making you feel like shit.
I mean, I wouldn't say he gets loud, but it's just his tone. You feel his demeanor. He doesn't really get loud, but like, we talked about this shit at nauseam. Very disappointed.
I'm disappointed in you.
He's not really like cussing you out or anything like that, but like if you're on that tape like on whatever Monday morning, Wednesday morning, whatever it is, and you fucked up during the game, like you kind of like slouch down in your seat, just hoping
What was the team key here? Affect the pocket. Are we affecting the pocket?
Yeah, like
that Bill's just been thinking about you all weekend. That can't be a good feeling.
praying you're not on the screen.
Okay. Will, who are you taking in this game?
I'll just go the opposite. No real reason. I do think that. I'll just say Jets plus 2.5. I was about to say I do think the Patriots are going to win, but let's just say the Patriots are going to win by 1 or 2 points.
Okay, there you go. Okay, well, the Colts at the Ravens. The Ravens favored by 8.5.
Colts.
I'll start.
Oh.
I think the Colts are live.
Yeah.
Live money line?
Maybe. I think the Ravens.
Remember that Survivor pick last week?
I have the Ravens. I put a future on the Ravens. I believe in Lamar Jackson. I also think like watching this Lamar Jackson and the offense they're running with Todd Monken. The difference is it feels like Lamar. The lanes that he has to run are there, and it's not as many designed run. It's more like, hey, third down, we need this, and he's able to get it. Because now they have guys who can take the top off the defense with Zay Flowers. Odell obviously got hurt, but some of these guys that make it so that the whole team can't play on the line of scrimmage, and Lamar has these lanes. I like what they're doing, and I think they're a very, very good team. I just think the Colts, they're tough. They're playing tough, 8.5 points. Like I'm not picking the Colts to win, so not live money line, but I think the Colts will keep this close.
Will?
You can look at the money line.
You could look at the
But
money
I'm gonna go Colts plus 8.5 as well. I think the Colts are tough. Even if is Anthony, do we know if he's playing?
I don't know.
Was he out of practice?
Pretty
That's what I'm saying.
good.
Even
Solid
Minshew,
backup.
I like him filling in. I like their defense with Shaq Leonard, DeForest Buckner, to help with Lamar Jackson. I like the Colts plus 8.5.
James?
I like the Ravens minus 8.5. I feel like this offense, as the weeks go on, they're going to continue to get better. They're going to build chemistry. A lot of new faces over there. Like I like Nelson Aguilar. I like Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers. They have guys that can stretch the field. And I feel like Lamar will get more comfortable in there. I feel like their running game will get going. I feel like they'll even use him in some more QB runs as the year goes on as well, because we all know how special that guy is when he starts running the football. I think they should do it just a tad bit more. I know he's trying to prove he can be a drop back passer or whatever. I think he's very good at, because obviously everybody comes into the week thinking about how he can get outside the pocket and all that. So they're so worried about that. The pass rush, you can't really, do your normal pass rush. You got to kind of contain him a little bit.
Yeah.
You go around the edge. He's through the line of scrimmage, has a 40-yard run. So I like the Ravens, minus 8.5. I feel like they'll score a lot of points in this one.
All right. Will, the Saints at the Packers. The Packers favored by 1.5.
I like the Packers. I like the Packers at home. They shit the bed in the fourth quarter last week, but I like what LaFleur and Love are doing, how they're operating the offense. They don't make a whole lot of mistakes, and their defense is nasty. They got a tough front seven, and their back end is aggressive. I like the Packers at home.
Dan?
I mean, I think both these teams stink.
Think so?
Yeah, I do.
It could just be out to slow starts, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers are probably better, so I'll take the Packers, but I don't think the Saints' offense has not impressed me at all.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr does not look like he's comfortable right now. I mean, that Panthers game, They should have won that game by a lot more, and they didn't look that great.
They got tough defense, though.
They do have a tough defense. Packers have some offensive line problems, which make me a little nervous for my pick of the Packers. But, yeah, I guess home opener, I don't know. I feel like the Packers are going to win this game.
James?
I like the Saints.
Okay.
Yeah.
They opened up against the Packers, I think it was either last year or the year before, and the way they handled Aaron Rodgers in that offense a couple years ago, I feel like they're going to pose a lot of problems for Jordan Love. I know he's been very comfortable in the pocket these first 2 weeks. I feel like this will be his toughest matchup. That secondary against this younger receiving core, they're going to make it really tough on him. And I think Derek Carr will have a better game this week. He's off to a very slow start. So I think when he gets Alvin Kamara back, I feel like that'll help him out a little bit, have that security blanket, guy you can hand it off to, throw it to. Well, he'll be back, week 4, week 5?
Yeah. I'm switching. I'm going with James. Yeah.
That defense he's talking about was 2 years younger. 2 years younger.
Yeah.
I'm saying the defense that played well, he was
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And because it's not like they're getting a lot of pass rush or anything else. They just play like good, sound defense.
So, Dan, you're officially switching?
I'm switching.
Okay.
I hate all my picks. I just want to say I hate all my picks.
Why are you going Saints? You just said they're not a good football team. You literally just said they're not a good
James
football
had a good speech.
Yeah, they're 2-0 though,
I'm switching back.
I like watching the graphic change. There it goes. Going back to
I
Green
hate
Bay.
all my picks. I think I'm going to have the worst week ever.
But can you still flip
No,
the
you
entire
really went
card?
5-9 last week.
No, I think I'm going to go worse. I think I'm going to go worse.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go
Just flip the Browns pick.
3-13.
Or not the Browns, the Bears. Flip the Bears pick.
You can't do that.
No.
You can't do
They
that.
might win that game.
Oh,
Do you ever pick
Joke.
against
That was a joke.
Nebraska?
That was a joke, Jerry. That was a joke.
You don't
Would I ever pick against
you don't-
Nebraska?
You don't pick against Nebraska, do you?
No, you
I mean,
don't.
last year when we were at the Bussin' Bowl in Michigan, my bet was against the spread. Was them having the points.
But you get it. He can't pick against the Bears, just like you wouldn't.
They might win that game.
No,
See?
but if it's a shit show, like the coaching staff, the staff was fired. Like
Any
they were
given
just
Sunday.
surviving. Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. That's why we watch.
Any given Saturday.
It's the
any given
greatest
Sunday.
reality show
Bears
on
are
earth.
not beating the Chiefs. Like they
Clip
might.
that for me. Oh, man.
That'll be on repeat. Okay, James, the Texans at the Jags. The Jags. Oh, wait, did we just do that one?
No.
No, we didn't.
No.
I feel like the spread. So the Jags favored by 8.5.
I like the Jaguars. I feel like they won't cover the spread. I like what I've seen from C.J. Stroud.
Yes.
These last few weeks, he's really getting in rhythm. No interceptions last week. Threw the ball, almost 40 times? So
Yes.
going against this Jag defense, they're fairly young, so there'll be some holes in this defense. I feel like they haven't hit their stride on offense either. I think Trevor Lawrence is still building chemistry with Calvin Ridley and all those guys. So I like the Jaguars, but I don't think they cover the spread.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud, 90. I think it's 91 pass attempts without an interception. That's the most by a rookie in through 2 games.
He's breaking the Ohio State quarterback narrative so far.
Trying. He's got to win a game. He's got to win a game. Yeah, I'll take the Texans plus the points.
Will?
Jaguars. I think they kind of have to get back on track because they only put up
9 points?
Yeah, 9 against the Chiefs. And I think that offense gets rolling against the Texans because I don't think they're very good.
Okay.
Dan, Panthers at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 6.
Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's playing. Andy Dalton.
Dalton's playing for
For the Panthers.
I didn't know he was still in the league.
Yeah,
He's been in the
he's
league
still in the
forever.
league.
Picked him off in 15. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, you did?
London.
How many interceptions did
6
you have?
2, 3.
You know the answer.
Yeah.
You don't know. There's no way.
for a linebacker.
Wait, but there's no way that you don't know the answer when it's 2 or 3. If you were like 15 or 16, I could understand. But 2 or 3, you know.
I know I have 1 sack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the picks, I think just 2.
Okay. Yeah, that felt like 2. When you
Dallas.
said 3, you're like, oh, they'll just say. It sounded like 2.
3 was a stretch.
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2.
We knew it was 2.
Can we look that up? Can we back there and look that up?
Yeah, look that up, Zuby. Look it up right now.
You have to know that.
It's 2. The answer is definitely 2. If it was
Well,
3, you would know it was
What do you
3.
think the third one is? Could possibly
Maybe
be.
I dropped it. You know what I mean?
What is the
overturn a
third
challenge.
I did
potential?
drop one right in the face. Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You know.
So 2
digress.
2
How many?
interceptions.
3.
Oh,
Thank you. Let's go.
where was the third?
Vindication.
Where'd the third come from?
What is the third one?
Yeah, that's. Can
Cowboys,
you look at what they were?
Bengals.
This is crazy,
Did I pick
Will.
Tom Brady? I will just say Tom Brady. Keep it moving.
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. All right, I'll take the Seahawks in this game while I look this
Oh,
up.
there it is. Russell Wilson.
You picked him
Russell
off?
Wilson. Yeah,
Good.
Russell
There it
Wilson.
is.
That was
Look at you, Will.
You thought that was a stretch, huh?
It is.
Well,
weird
when
that
you
just
say
don't
2,
remember it.
3, it's like, well, if it's 3, you should remember that it's 3.
Humble.
You just forgot that you picked off Russell Wilson?
I was having a hard time finding that third one.
I gotcha. Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay,
3.
so who are
Way
you
to
taking in
go.
this game?
I'm taking the Jerry, who you like?
What game are we on?
Seahawks -6 against the Panthers. Because I don't like it, so I'm.
I like the Seahawks. Kenneth Walker. I love that
I love
dude,
Kenneth
bro.
Walker.
He's a football.
At Seattle, 12th man, I'm going to ride with Jerry here.
James,
Seahawks
there's
-6.
another young guy who came right into the league with Kenneth Walker and got the job done.
Yeah, I like what I see from him. Even at Michigan State, I didn't quite know who he was, and I watched him there. He's a big guy, fast, can run through contact, has the speed to get to the end zone, those long runs. Like the Seahawks in this game, they struggled week 1 against the Rams, which I was not expecting for the Rams to be this competitive early on in the year. They're playing solid, so you got to give Sean McVay a lot of credit. But I think the Seahawks offense, I'm very high on this team coming to the season. Like I said, they didn't look great week 1. Defense didn't look great last week, but the offense really got going. I like the Seahawks in this one.
Okay.
Dude, you balled out against Andy Dalton. You had an interception, 10 tackles.
Wow.
8 solo, 1 tackle for loss.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah.
I appreciate it.
And the best part was it was a tie.
Bro, hey, over in London too.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah.
Both kickers missed field goals. Like we were just like, well, you don't feel like it's a loss, but just because it was like, no disrespect to Dustin Hopkins, but he's the only one in the tank on the way home because it's like, hey, we all feel like we
did enough.
Okay, James, the Cowboys at the Cardinals. The Cowboys 2-0 are favored by 12.5.
Yeah, it's actually kind of hard for me. The Cardinals have been playing everybody pretty tough week in and week out, but this Cowboys defense.
Diggs is gone.
Diggs is gone.
Diggs is gone.
Micah Parsons is still there. DeMarcus Lawrence is still there. Then they cause a lot of problems for Josh Dobbs in that offense. I like the Cowboys to cover the spread.
Dan?
I'm going to take the Cardinals. Again, I don't think I'm going to win a single bet. I'm going to take the Cardinals.
You're going to win that bet. I'm going Cardinals.
Okay, yeah.
Dobbs, I'm telling you, even though the Cardinals might have a terrible record this year, you're going to have to defeat them every week. They're going to be a fly in your face, dude. You're not going to be able to kill them. Cardinals plus 12.5 against the Cowboys.
All right, Dan, the Rams at the Bengals. The Bengals favored by 3 have not won this season yet.
Yes. I have been the Bengals whisperer, though, because I've nailed that both weeks. I gave you the Browns easy week 1. I gave you the Ravens easy week 2. I think this is the get-right spot, though. I think this is where the Bengals, I know Joe Burrow's got the calf. Yeah. Gets a little extra rest. Doesn't have to travel because they played at home last week. I think this is where the Bengals start to flip the switch and be like, oh, yeah, I forgot about the Bengals.
Well, James, this is what happened last year, too. They started off slow and obviously did pretty well.
They didn't start off this slow.
They looked
offense
really
hasn't
bad.
done much of anything. Jamar Chase hasn't really been involved. Joe Mixon hasn't really been involved. T. Higgins, but he had a touchdown last week. But they've really looked bad. I know they lost some pieces on defense as well, but they're my preseason favorite coming into the year, so they better start getting it going. But I think this Monday Night Football, all eyes on them. I think they get the win. I think they cover the spread.
Will?
I'll go Rams. Puka.
Just for the sake of it?
I like the Rams, bro. Everybody, they're exceeding expectations for everybody. I like the Rams. I like McVay. Their defense, they played tough. They played San Francisco tough. Shout out to McVay covering the spread into the game last week. That was big time. That was big time.
A lot of people
But I'm going to take the Rams, man. I'm going to take the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to 3 bad opinions. So, James, the way this works is Dan just gives us his bad opinions, and you decide how bad they are.
Yeah.
And he's already said that all his picks are bad, so we're just...
Bad. I have 1 good opinion and 2 bad opinions this week. My first good opinion is Tua is going to win MVP.
Thoughts?
It's not far-fetched the way
If
he's
he can
playing
stay.
so far. I mean, like I said, as long as he stays healthy.
That's the big thing, if he can
the
stay
biggest question
healthy.
mark.
He took karate in the offseason. Learned how to fall. Learned how to fall. Learned how to fall.
We had an argument on the show last week about if you could redraft the AFC East quarterbacks, who you would take first, right now.
In order.
Ooh.
Because you're not going to get out by just saying Josh Allen.
Does health play a factor?
That was the big argument. So that was the big argument.
Well, in these first couple weeks as well.
First, I'm taking Tua first couple weeks, obviously. He's protecting the football. He's throwing. I mean, he has the best weaponry out of everybody, though. So that's his advantage. But he's a very accurate passer. He's off to a hot start last year. He was off to a hot start until he got banged up. So I guess I have to go with Tua.
Yeah.
That argument went round and around and around because Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Days.
I love Mac. Like I said, he struggled last year a little bit. I mean, for obviously.
Yeah, they screwed him over. Yeah,
reasons,
yep,
but
yep.
I think he's playing decently this year as well. Just has to protect the football a little bit. I mean, Bill O'Brien, they have a perfect connection there. He'll get better as the year goes on.
Okay, so not a bad opinion.
Yeah, not a bad opinion. Tua to win the MVP. And then my two bad opinions they're kind of the same thing. I think Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson might get benched at some point this year.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
You think?
If
Russ probably more likely than Deshaun.
Yeah, I was about to say, which one's more likely?
Russ.
Yeah, Russ definitely more likely.
Because I think Sean Payton, like he's in it for the long haul. He didn't pick Russ.
Who's the backup?
Stidham.
Is Stidham so Stidham, they went and got Stidham, so.
I like Stiddy.
Yeah.
Stid.
I don't know. I'm going to say bad opinion.
Bad opinion on both?
Yeah, I think. Oh, Deshaun, what you just guaranteed that man.
I mean, both of them really
He
invested
a lot
in
of
both of
money,
those.
yeah.
Yeah, they're both heavily invested. They're not just going to.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't. Deshaun has been very bad.
Yeah, but if you were like the owner, front office, whatever, whoever's making
Jerry's really
I
bad.
mean, he hasn't had a good game in 4 years.
But to me, the politics of it is
I understand that.
whoever's making the decisions, you're going to allow the quarterback to go down with the ship.
Yeah, you got to
before making
it out.
This is why it's a bad opinion. But I'm throwing it out there.
Like, hey, let's just, we paid him a lot. We're going to make it seem like we were betting on him. Yeah.
But then you always get
Yeah.
and I've seen this a million times with the Bears, where it's like the coach is trying to save his job, and the front office is trying to save their job, and the owner's got one thing. Like those all come into play when you have, like if the coach, Sean Payton maybe doesn't feel the heat, but like if Stefanski starts feeling the heat and he's like, I got to prove that it's him, not me. Those things happen.
If Sean Payton has control of the roster, I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
Because if you don't,
it will be different benchings. Yeah, Sean Payton would be a benching like we're moving on from Russell Wilson. He's done.
He would handle like Shanahan. Not saying that like Trey Lane's got, but they'll make decisions and be like, hey, we messed this up.
Yeah,
we move
right.
on.
Stefanski would be a different one. Stefanski would be like, hey, look, I want to save my job. And Deshaun's the reason why my job is going down the tubes. Yeah. I'm going to save my job by showing you that a different quarterback could play in my system.
But the owner or whoever's put that money into it might not allow it. So that's when
you guys know.
That's when you have to go to the presser.
You guys know, and maybe it's a little. You would probably know from the Commanders more than anything else, because the Titans and the Patriots kind of run the same way. Where the best organizations in the NFL, job security is not a question, so people have the freedom to make the decisions.
Yes.
The dysfunctional organizations, which you could say the Browns and Broncos have been for a while now.
You're paid, you're in
Yeah,
there.
it becomes the element later on in the season where everyone is in self-survival mode. And the decisions start becoming, how can I keep my job and make sure that I'm safe, not what's best for the organization.
Right. No, you're spot on. I mean, with Washington and RG and Kirk Cousins, when that was all trying to go down after RG was Rookie of the Year and everything else, like that was a very
weird shit happens.
Yeah, it was a very slippery slope because ownership wanted one thing, coaching staff wanted the other thing.
Right.
But yeah, no, you're right.
Jerry, do you want to see Deshaun benched?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's not good. I mean, I said it before the season started. He's not going to have a good year. I'm interested to see who gets fired first.
Ooh.
Brandon Staley or Stefanski.
I don't think Stefanski will get fired, especially now with Nick Chubb getting hurt. I think Brandon Staley, definitely, there's heat there.
I don't know, though. That Browns roster is really talented, too.
Yeah.
They're built to win right now. And they, on defense and on offense, they can't figure it out. Got to go in a different direction.
Got to figure something else out.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for Survivor Pool picks presented by Jack Daniels and Coke. The guys have them right here. They're already pre-mixed for you. They're ready. You don't have to get all the mixers out. It's a ready-to-drink canned cocktail. Buy now at your local retailer or go to jackdaniels.com/Jack and Coke to find a location near you. They also just look cool. Like walking around with this at tailgates look great. Who doesn't love Jack and Coke? Who?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the drink you start with. It's
a staple, right? It's a staple. It's a staple. Okay, so Will and the guest spots, so James this week, are still alive in this Survivor Pool. So Will, do you want to go first? Do you want James to go first?
I get started off.
Okay.
I know everybody thought I was crazy for Indianapolis last week, but
You're still alive.
still alive, and I'm gonna have to go Chiefs. Use my Chiefs one. I think
You're going to burn your Chiefs. You're going to burn your Chiefs.
Yeah, you can't use Chiefs for the rest of the year.
Okay.
I know, but you Yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs.
You
This is
know it's
just
safe.
an easy. Yeah, we got to
You know that
survive.
it's
You got to
safe.
survive in advance. Survive in advance.
James, so Taylor Lewan picked Baltimore in week 1, and Dave picked Dallas last week. Who are you going with this week?
Bengals.
Bengals.
Ooh, I like
Okay,
it.
I like it.
Yes, no, I like this.
like
James
it.
and I are on the
Gotta
same
survive,
page.
man.
This is the turning point for the
You
Bengals
go,
season.
0-3 in that division?
You thought I was crazy for that low of a spread last week with the
Well, the Colts,
and-
like the Colts and Texans, that's just a crazy variable. Like the volatility of that game is so high because
But it
both teams
was.
stink.
No,
I know.
You just said the Colts are solid. What do you mean? And
I
now
did,
it's a
I did
1.5.
say that. I did say that.
He didn't say that.
That's what he meant to say.
Yeah, he does.
This is what this is actually like. This is the first time I've ever felt like Will Compton, where like my brain caught up to my brain. This is you every day. You're just
Yes,
walking
I
around
do.
like, fuck. Did I say? I did say that.
Yeah. Earlier, I think she called on me, and I'm just trying to read the page, and you
I
got to
did.
step in like, I'll go first.
I called on Will and I was like, well, it's your new, I'll step in. I was like, did I not just say Will?
Yeah.
Like my brain was wondering if my
No,
brain
he
caught
just
up to
that
me.
pause was too long.
If you had a hypothetical pick, who would you
If
take
I had a
this week?
hypothetical pick, I would take the Cowboys.
Cowboys?
Yeah, that feels like. I mean, I know
Arizona
that.
might sneak them.
What?
I think Arizona.
Listen, I have Arizona in the points, but if you like, also the Cardinals are a weird team where I know that they were trying to win against the Giants, but they are in tank mode. Like, yeah. I mean, they traded guys. They're in tank mode.
Do you agree with, who do you agree with? You're shaking your head here.
I mean, I think they were in tank mode, but coming into the season, like they're trying to win. Like,
Yeah.
I got to give Jonathan Gannon a lot of credit. I mean, he seems like a very different type of coach. The way he's,
Yeah.
in the locker room.
Yeah,
Some
he's a
awkward
weirdo.
things.
He's a weirdo.
Trying to motivate
A weirdo.
guys. It's
Yeah,
kind of
weirdo.
a little bit different, but hey, he's motivating them somehow. Josh
Yeah.
Thomas has been playing well. Doesn't even know his teammates. Now they're performing decently. So
Jerry, if you had a hypothetical pick, who would you take?
Seattle.
Okay.
I would take Seattle this week.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's the show. How's everybody feeling?
Great. Thank you,
Yeah,
James.
James
It's been
was
awesome.
phenomenal.
Yes, appreciate it.
appreciate you guys.
Is
having
it
me.
after having an NFL career the way you did, very obviously successful, now you're on our side of things, how does it feel?
It's different. Like,
Yeah?
It's, the hardest thing is having to talk about people that you know and
Right.
coaches that you know. That's probably like the weirdest thing. So kind of have to find that balance, you know.
Let me ask you a question. Sundays, do you have one TV in your house, multiple TVs? What's the TV set?
I like how they have like the YouTube. TV,
Yeah, the
how they have- you
multi-view.
have the multi-view, have NFL Red Zone up on the iPad. So
Yep.
just have a bunch of things going on at once.
Okay. Pretty difficult, though, to follow every game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because some people, not me, well, actually me, I think it's harder to watch every game than playing an NFL game. That's what I think. Look, I'm getting up there in age. I'm 38. And I was saying this the other day, I've been doing it for a very long time. My bounce back's not the same. Monday morning is tough. And every Monday morning, I'm like, how am I going to do this again? And it's very similar to what you guys went through, probably harder. And by the end of the week, I'm like, I got to do it again. Like, got to get, by Thursday, Friday, my body starts to bounce back. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to sit on the couch and watch 12 hours of football again.
And you also do it on Saturdays, too.
Yeah,
so
Saturdays.
you do it back-to-back
So listen.
days.
It's hard.
Just saying. It's tough.
You don't rest.
No, you don't rest. I don't have rest. And my body, I wake up in the morning, barely get down the stairs. Like, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a debate. I think it's a debate that'll go down forever.
And I'll just say it right now. I know that we're not there with science yet, but I think there could be a chance in like 20 years from now, there's like a CTE controversy with podcasters because they're like, these guys, they wrecked their brains just watching football.
That's probably the one I'll buy into at that
Yeah,
point.
right.
Oh, no, it was podcast.
They'll be like, they just,
It wasn't playing football.
yeah, they didn't know the risks that were involved in watching sports for a life. Yeah.
I think the only thing that hurts you is you can always rewatch, replay, like go back, get the highlights, even if you don't catch the games.
Now you got to watch it live. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you got to watch it live, but I'm saying if you're going to be prepared week in and week out, like you can always go back and rewatch games. You can't go
Back out on the
go back
football
out on
field
the
once-
football field and replay the game.
And you don't have Bill Belichick putting you on tape on Mondays either.
that Monday morning meeting, Monday afternoon.
I do have a bunch of like anonymous people tweeting me being like, your opinion sucks. Your
Hey.
Okay, there you go.
that's just the same as Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but if you had to go in every day, which would be funny, by the way, and go over every move that you made and have to get it corrected over and over. What we say here, what we say there, what are you doing here? This is why we're going to do these.
But I
drills
do.
today.
That's what I'm saying. Like I wake up at 6:30 in the morning on Monday to take my son to school, and I got my Twitter mentions are like, "What the fuck are you talking about there?" And it's like,
As a player,
Yeah,
you get both.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true.
Think if you got to go into a meeting and they're like, they got to teach you like what the spread means every week. Like go back to something so fundamental
Yeah.
to where you might have took a false step because you're tired out there on the field and your coach sitting there in the air conditioning and be like, what do we teach her? Why do we do our EDDs, our everyday drills?
Okay.
You're sitting out there practice in your individual period doing like footwork just because you took one false step.
Okay,
The
well,
longevity of his career is also much longer too.
Listen. The fact that we're even having this debate shows you that it's closer
Good
than
point.
people
Close.
think.
Yeah, the gap-
Closer than people think.
The gap is close. The gap is close.
Yeah. My favorite move to just bring up a debate and be like, we're even talking about it. Clearly, there's something there.
Yeah, obviously,
I
if
will
it's
be
worthy,
copying that one as well.
if it's worthy of a conversation, it must be a worthy point.
Yeah,
So
that's an old hockey trick right there. Just get someone into a debate and be like, hey, we're having this conversation. It's clearly something there.
well, thanks for being here, James. It was a lot of fun. Everybody out there, we'll be back next week. Enjoy your week 3 of the NFL.